Can we just,
now it's coming
now
through. It
it-
looks
oh
like
my
we're getting
God.
our sound
Okay.
bar up.
Well, I'll just fucking transition then.
Well, I mean, like,
Hello, welcome to the 7th.
it's fine because we're not, like, and also it's being recorded, so
Right.
it should work. We should be fine.
Well,
I don't have a lot
is
more
that
to say,
recording
but-
dead then because we just lost a bunch of audio?
You're right.
Yeah, it was really.
How did we gain more watchers though with no audio?
I know. but they-
Someone's just sitting there going.
Okay, yeah, I hear it.
All right, so when we really do it, I'm gonna double and triple check
But I
that.
really fucking do it.
Sorry there, dear viewer.
I'm probably gonna see if Martin can like give us better chords or something because like for some reason it was perfectly fine.
Shouts out to my brother Griffin Roberts. Hello, I love you. Thank you for telling me that there was no sound coming from the podcast.
And I love you too.
Phoenix is in the middle of trying to like appreciate her brother, and you're being. Like,
Yeah, sure, Cameron. I guess.
You tell your brother you love him.
Yeah. I love
Gay.
him. Oh my God. Okay.
You don't tell your family you love them.
They
his
never
family
told
doesn't
me.
love him.
Oh, we're getting sad.
All right, anyway, video game movies.
Is that a thing y'all do?
They can hear us now. Stop.
Weird flex, but okay.
Weird flex, but go on.
So, listen. So the Resident Evil series, we already talked about this, but it's like the highest grossing video game film adaptation.
Wait, serious that.
I don't know.
Because has there even like been a video game series besides Resident
Raider.
Evil? Tomb Raider's only had like one movie though.
No, it got remade.
Oh wait, yeah, Angelina
There's
Jolie.
Lara Croft Tomb Raider, and there's one Cradle of Life,
your family
and then
loves
there's the remade one. So that's 3. Hitman, obviously.
Which
That's about it, really.
which of those movies was better for you? The first one or Agent 47?
Oh, I didn't see Agent 47. I have
Okay.
not had the pleasure or displeasure of seeing it yet. But whoa,
That's my mother.
are we good now?
She loves.
All right, cool.
Yeah, they can.
We love you too.
All right. The Hitman movie.
Yeah.
Which one?
Hitman.
Which one?
It's called Hitman.
There's 2 of them.
Hitman 2 coming out in November.
No. There's another one called Hitman. There's one called Agent 47.
He's
There's one
talking
called
about the
Hitman Agent
first one.
47.
Hitman.
The one called Hitman.
The one with Zachary Quinto where he has the rock body.
The one where it's like,
Yes,
sure.
right there.
Fuck me.
The recent
Christian.
one.
Christian, I'm gonna put you through a wall. Hitman. Okay, so it did. It got great box office numbers.
Somehow it did.
Made 99 million from a 24 million budget. Reception, bad reviews, bad dialogue.
Yeah, have you seen the trailer for it?
Uh,
They have like a really dumb cover of Voodoo Child.
Really?
Yeah, they have like a really distorted Voodoo Child. It's like
There's a few.
That was
things-
good audio,
what-
right?
what I, like personal thoughts. Why I didn't like. He doesn't act like Hitman. Like I played Absolution. I love Absolution. I played through that like 1,000 times.
Okay.
Which one's that? Give me a.
That's the one where
He
it's
cuts
like
off the number on the back of his head.
When
and the tie.
What system did that come out on?
It came on 360.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
So
the
like
one
that era.
before like the reboot.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
And the reboot kind
That one was pretty good.
Absolution's pretty cool. Yeah.
Honestly-
It's really like cartoony
very
kind of
Honestly,
like
I am so ready for the new one. The new one looks pretty sweet.
Hitman 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks really sweet.
Okay, don't make that sound. Please don't. But yeah, he doesn't act like Hitman like in the Hitman games. Yeah, there you go.
Phoenix, I love your family.
First Hitman was cool. You're darn right. Hitman. No voice off the side. But he doesn't act like Hitman. Like in the Hitman games, he's like no emotion.
Very cold.
He's very like.
Well, because
he'll
he's
have some catchy dialogue or be like some like a cool one-liner every once in a while, but it's always like the same straight face.
well, because he's a clone and he was like made
genetically
to be,
altered to be
a cold killer.
in the movie, he like smiles and like when the Interpol agent asks him, he's like, "Was it worth it?" He kind of like has a face of like, oh, and it's like you're not supposed to show emotion.
Well, I mean, like they kind of had to because I feel that that's just what happens when you translate a game over into a movie.
I don't know though because it's like the
make a
games have like such a like hardcore following. Like people love Hitman. Like the way I think the problem with a lot of like video game movies and even like comic book movies and stuff like that is that I think as long as you have a good handle on what your character is,
Yeah.
it like that's why people have such a problem with like the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies because he's like, oh, he's too hot to be Spider-Man or whatnot. But that's why like Homecoming is like the definitive Spider-Man
Yeah.
like movie, or even in Civil War, people loved him because he's like an actual teenager. He was like weird and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, like honestly, people like the Hitman games. Not because of Agent 47, even though that is a reason, because a lot of the older ones are just campy, they're janky.
I know,
and
they're
there's-
amazing.
And there's like crazy stuff that happens, and it's the possibility. And that is why people like them, because you can totally go stealth in every mission, or you can go in guns a blazing, or you can poison food and give it to everyone in the entire room.
My favorite thing to do with Hitman would be to like get to my target, and then I would just like throw a coin in the corner, and then I'd keep throwing coins over and over, and they'd be like, "Ooh, a coin! Ooh, a coin!" And then you just lead them outside, and then you just like shoot them in the head.
Yeah. Which
It's like Silent Assassin.
Which, I mean, honestly, is like why I feel that they did give him some more character, because like he can be cold in the video game because people are there for other things. But with the movie, if this is your main character, they just need to give him like a little bit more, because I feel like if they did go the cold route, he wouldn't really have an arc, and it would have kind of made a boring movie.
Then don't make the fucking movie. Like if it doesn't work, fix it, or like figure out some other shit, like make like a short film or something. Don't make a whole film.
That'd be a rad short film. I can see it being a better short film.
Agent 47, to me, this is my opinion, is meant to be a cold, ruthless killer. It doesn't show much emotion, so I don't like the film adaptation. Also, the train scene with the sword fights. Yeah. So he pulls up in the thing, like in the train, right? And it's like the three other agents come out, and they all have like two pistols pointed at each other in like different directions. Everybody's like, "Gentlemen, care to die with dignity?" And they all like put their guns up or whatever and drop the mags, and they all pull swords out of their backs, 2 swords each, and start like an impromptu sword fight. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Hitman.
It was goofy. I don't know. It was
Hitman.
Stupid and goofy to me.
That's amazing.
I love that.
It's not even a really good action scene. Like I watched it and I was like, yeah, I guess. This is what
You watched a clip on YouTube.
I've seen clips. Max Payne. Have y'all seen the Max Payne movie?
With Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Honestly, I don't know how they could possibly.
I'm Max Payne. I just like to. I'm a really hardcore alcoholic.
Come on.
I mean, like, really, it's just that, like, with the, like, Max Payne...
I'm gonna be a star!
Sorry. With the, like, Max Payne games, like, there is, like a lot of story there, but that would never translate over into film, at least for me.
The opening scene of the first, not Hitman, first Max Payne game, they introduced that midway through the movie.
Yeah.
Why? They just messed up.
Because they have to set up this character.
Yeah. Scott Miller, actually, who's, like, a part of 3D Realms, who makes Max Payne, or is, like, the CEO of it. He said he was shaking his head at that like plot point or whatever, but then he quickly changed his tune on opening weekend when it made 17.6 million.
Once he saw that money,
5.4 million. He's like, oh yeah, I didn't know it's got a merit to it. Blah, blah, blah. But on opening weekend, apparently it did like really good. But the competition was Sex Drive, Secret Life of Bees, W, and Beverly Hills Chihuahua. So,
Secret Life of Bees is a
Beverly
really
Hills
good
Chihuahua.
movie.
with my man Jorge Lopez.
Goddamn right. But yeah, John Moore directed Max Payne. So John Moore actually got really angry at the MPAA, which if y'all don't know is the Motion Picture Association.
Oh, that thing that pops up in front of every movie ever?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, in case you didn't know, in case you're blind.
Hot take.
All right, someone read the chat real quick.
Okay. Games don't really do well as films. Yep, I hated Tomb Raider and Assassin's Creed movies. I will talk about Assassin's Creed in a second. Love the games, but the movies suck. Agreed.
That is really
very
true.
much agree.
100%.
No, the only thing I liked from the
Especially
Assassin's Creed
Creed
movie,
movie,
yeah, like that one was sad to watch. Like the animus was so dumb. Like really just like
We'll get there in a second.
Oh yeah,
But-
we're gonna get there.
They changed the animus actually because they didn't want to do the chair because they thought it was it was kind of boring to
Is
look
that
at.
your mom?
But
Yeah.
wow, Cameron. Okay. And, they
mom's cool
they
for
thought it
me.
was too akin to the Matrix because when Neo lays down and they jack him in.
Yeah, but that was
him hard.
but that was what was cool is that because once you jack in, you're there and you're living this entire new life.
Can we just talk about the
Once
Assassin's
you
Creed
jack
game now?
out- Never mind.
I don't know. Like I feel like again, I think as long as you're true to your world and your characters, like I think the people will just follow like whatever you give them because I think the big problem that they did with Assassin's Creed was that like a big part of Assassin's Creed for me, like I was literally just playing Unity like earlier on today, and like I'm just like walking around and then like Napoleon Bonaparte's there, and you're just chilling out in Napoleon. I'm like that stuff's cool.
Yeah.
Like they don't have that at all in Assassin's Creed, like the movie. And like the only cool thing to me about that movie is like literally the opening scene of it where you see him get like the hidden blade for the first time. They just like cut off his finger and he's just like like takes it like a man.
But the problem with that is that they never told the audience why that is so important. Because I mean, us having played every single last one, we know why it's such a ritualistic and ceremonial
Why was it? Was it
events.
like Altair like tried to put it on right, but they like didn't have like.
Yeah.
No, it's just the
story
original
cut off.
design was like, like you actually don't see that because like Altair has like his finger, like they have like a modern updated version of it. The only time you see that in the games is in Origins, which is like the Egyptian one,
okay.
but he doesn't like they have it and she's kind of like, hey, watch your finger when you do this, and then when you go to like kill someone, you're kind of like struggling, and then it just kind of goes off and just cuts his finger off like while he kills him. It's pretty cool.
Which is why they cut it off, and it also kind of like brings unity to the entire creed.
Yeah, well, the whole point of it is that it's supposed to be like a ceremonial like sacrifice of you like giving yourself to the creed or whatever, which I mean like it's cool.
Can we move on segments?
I'm almost done.
Yeah.
Interesting. Max Payne with Mark Wahlberg and The Happening both came out the same year and both sucked mega donkey dick. Somehow, Mark Wahlberg lost the nomination for a Razzie for Worst Actor.
How do you do that?
I forget which movie it was.
The
but it was-
Happening is oof.
You know what? Unpopular
Oof.
opinion. I like it. I like
Yeah.
The
Okay,
Happening. I don't
all
like
right.
the acting, but I like it. The Happening is like the grass kills people.
It's the trees.
Oh, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Oh my
People
god.
jumping off
that
cliffs.
was
Do you love that
awful.
movie?
It was awful.
Okay, good.
It's my favorite movie, The Happening.
I was
Half
conceived to that
expected you to
movie.
say that, like, that's your favorite movie,
M
yeah.
Night Shyamalan can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Okay,
Assassin's
even
Creed-
though
I can't-
Glass looks
one
good.
Time.
One time,
Assassin's Creed. So we're still talking about Assassin's Creed. It took $125 million to make, and after all production costs and revenue, it's estimated that the studio, which was New Regency, I think, lost $75 to $100 million.
Oh
Well,
man,
yeah,
that's a big blow.
Don't make a shitty movie.
Apparently
Hot take.
Apparently, the original ending for Assassin's Creed was like, you know how Fassbender's like fighting with all his bros and broettes in that final battle. Apparently, everyone was supposed to die except for Fassbender's character.
That would have been a better ending.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, but I will say the coolest part of that entire movie is when they break out of the like I forgot what the company's name is.
Abstergo.
Yeah, once they break out, the idea that there are assassins trained running around the world, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's where they should have started the movie. It would have been a better movie, and then you could do so much more. And I honestly, I'm just kind of done with like the entire franchise, and they make this like new mystical item that was made by the like old gods or like whatever.
Yeah.
Like
The
we
new
get
gods?
it, we get it. Do something new, have a better story. Just I don't know.
Yeah. Last thing I'm going to talk about, and this is, I don't know if y'all will have anything to add to this. I'm not going to talk about Pokemon movies, because everything that we talked about now was like live action theatrical releases in like the US, I believe.
Yeah.
This is it was an international release live action. I'm going to talk about international animated. I'm just going to talk about Pokemon movies.
All right,
for,
cool. Go ahead.
Maybe 10 minutes.
Pokemon's great.
So, okay.
Oh, the Mewtwo
first-
one.
Yeah, I definitely cried during the first Pokemon
Yeah.
movie when I first
Who
watched it,
didn't?
and like the fucking 10 times after that I watched it, and probably still now. I haven't seen it in a while.
It's really sad.
Yeah, because Ash is like Mewtwo, stop fighting, and then he goes in like the middle.
I
of
don't
that
even think
blast.
that's the saddest part. The saddest part is when you see all the Pokemon like crying and hitting
Oh,
each
that's
other.
what I'm saying. Yeah, Pikachu's like, man, bro, I don't want to kill you, and then like Peach's code is like, bitch, slaps him, bitch, slaps him, fight me, and Peach is like, nah.
Oh
But then Ash is
man.
petrified, and Pikachu starts like trying to electrocute him to like bring him back, and he's
Oh,
like, and I'm like, oh no.
he can't do it. Ash dead.
Yeah.
I think my favorite Pokemon movie, well, other than the first one, would be Pokemon the movie 2000.
That one's
one?
good. So the second one.
Either,
That shit's tight.
either the second one or the Entei movie.
Where was the?
Wait,
Do y'all
is
remember
that
like?
one?
Was it like Lucario or something?
I thought that was in order.
Yeah, that was
Which
one with
one's the- oh, no,
Lucario.
Solo.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
that
Guys, do y'all remember the one where it was like
Lucario.
It was the red. They were like legendary. They're like the red one and the blue one.
Oh, yeah.
Pokemon
And then-
Heroes.
Heroes,
And
yeah.
Oh, Latios and Latios.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
sad.
That was so sad.
Like a giant tsunami's about to wipe out this town. Latios is like, yo, I got this. It takes the soul, dude.
So let's check out
Dumps
Detective
it.
Pikachu coming in.
God.
Wait, no. Really quick. Tell me how you feel about the latest Pokemon movie. It's called Pokemon Gotta Catch 'Em All, right?
It's like I choose you.
Pokemon
I choose you. Yeah.
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 How'd you feel about that when Pikachu
I
started
haven't seen
talking?
it. I have not seen it.
Well,
Wait,
spoilers.
He started talking.
That was
Yeah,
all over
he
Twitter.
tells
Isn't Ash
Ash,
like
I
super
love
stu-
you.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. When
What?
Ash
What
is
did that?
dying.
What does that even sound like?
No,
He's
it's like
I love you.
I love
Pikachu's just
you.
like, I love you.
There's like videos. Of
Like in
what?
the Fairly Odd Parents movie where they got Poof to talk.
Oh my god.
And he was just like
He's
a black guy.
British.
Like-
Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh my god. Yeah, Pokemon the original was pretty good. I like the second one. I have a huge fear of deep sea, but seeing like Lugia come out of like the woodworks and like run that shit, that was so cool.
See, Lugia is my favorite legendary.
Oh. Mine too.
Yo,
Oh my god.
let's go.
Ew!
Nerd
Look at
bonding.
these nerds.
Shit, sorry.
Yeah, I'm
Like in
actually playing
Pokemon.
Gen 4 for the first time right now.
Really? Oh,
Um,
my favorite generation.
Dude, I'm in that one cave, that one mountain.
Mount Cornet.
I'm
the
on
main
Mount
one?
Cornet for
Wait,
the second
hold on.
time.
Are you fucking kidding? Are you watching it? What?
So for our audio viewers,
What?
Yeah.
Cameron pulled up the scene where
Audience.
Where
I don't like
Pikachu
it.
says I love you.
he says, "I love you."
Hold on. We can't have 5 seconds of dead air time.
Yeah, it'd be like that. Shit.
La 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 la. Please no. No. Are they gonna fuck me? All right, so
It's
to
me.
answer your question, Travis, I don't like it.
You know, like,
Me.
They made a second one, like same universe.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And that, like they're done now.
oh, so they're done.
Yeah,
Done.
Just 1 and 2.
They're
I like-
opposed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how they introduced like newer Pokemon in the Kanto region, like
Sterling.
Talonflame, who's like Gen 6. They're like, oh yeah, you know this dude has a Talonflame in Kanto, and you're like, oh cool,
Yeah.
yeah, fuck it. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm on Gen 4. I'm on Mount Coronet. I'm stuck there because I'm trying to catch a feedback.
Oh,
But there's
have fun
yeah.
dying.
I've been trying for like 3 days straight now.
It's not working.
God,
I'm telling you,
This
it's
is
not
the
working.
fourth of
I
what this is
need a
gonna
good
be.
water type, a good competitive water type that can
Do you,
transfer
are
over.
you trying to get Milotic or?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And all the other water types are ass
Yeah.
in Gen 4.
I mean, have you tried a Bee Barrel,
No.
the beaver Pokemon?
What are these
That would be
words that
Bee
you're
Barrel,
saying?
the beaver Pokemon.
The concept
I thought it was
of the
Beevile.
ATM slave started because of Beaver.
I know. Yeah, you can learn everything except fly
Yeah.
and defog. But defog.
I never
shouldn't
used
count.
defog. Like,
I just braved the fog, but I was like, this is
yeah, it's useless.
slight work.
So to cut from this nerd conversation,
Let's
Okay.
give a round of applause for Reed. For
No,
his
I'm
good
not. Hey,
accent.
not done. Hold your
he's
applause.
not done.
Hold your applause.
Christian, please stop.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So first movie, second movie, third movie. Pokemon Heroes, Jirachi Wishmaker.
Dude.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Mega. what's
Is
his name?
is it that the one with
Mega
Darkrai?
It wasn't Mega Groudon. It was like a fake Groudon because
Yeah.
like the dude's trying to like.
See, I called
Butler.
it Mega Groudon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, at the time before Mega Evolution was introduced.
Yeah.
But the main villain Butler or whatever tries to use Jirachi to bring back Groudon because he was like a Team Magma
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
scientist
It
and he got
was-
fired because he couldn't like didn't have enough energy to do his ship. He's like, oh, I can use Jirachi's energy that he takes from the comet to power this shit, and he kind of does. And then but the Groudon just like has tentacles coming out of it and like kills. I was like, ooh, Japanese and tentacles. This is not. Is this rated E?
It's gonna get pretty hairy.
Goddamn. Or PG rather. And like it kills everything around it. And then Jirachi uses Doom Desire, which is like when I first heard like Jirachi's such a cute little Pokemon. It's like, oh yeah, what can I learn? Like, oh, you know, Psychic, some cute little moves, recover, Doom Desire. Oh,
Oh,
a new Pokemon. That was a pretty good Oak impression if I do say so myself.
a new Pokemon.
I stopped watching Pokemon movies after Zoroark, Master of Illusions.
Yeah.
I stopped watching it before.
Oh, really? Okay, because after that, it was like the Kyurem movie. Oh my god, what do they do with these names? Kyurem.
Yeah.
It was like a black and white Kyurem and all that shit, and then Genesect.
Hector, you're making my foot vibrate.
Goddamn. And yeah, it just kind of went downhill from there. I really just didn't give a shit after. I saw the Diancie one, or like the one with Evitel, and it was like the egg of death or whatever it was called.
I didn't even see that one.
Okay.
Oh, Voltorb.
No. Voltorb.
So like, do you feel that there's a future for Pokemon movies?
I think there's always gonna be a future for Pokemon movies, just because like people are always gonna watch them because they're like, oh yeah, Pokemon.
Yeah,
I
I'd like
played
to-
that or I played that. I want to see this.
I'd like to see like a Voltorb movie.
Yeah.
yeah, only
It's like
Voltorb.
the last boss battle. Voltorb.
Just use an explosion.
I was telling my roommate Jonah this, but the funny part about Voltorb and Geodude is like how their main attack is self-destruct.
Yeah.
But if you're using a ghost type and you're playing versus an NPC, they're gonna kill themselves, and your ghost type isn't gonna get any damage.
Yeah, this shit's stupid.
What was
man.
the Pokemon movie where the unknown,
That was the third one.
Yeah, third one.
Can we make a Voltor movie, but it's like we just remake Call Me by Your Name, just like with Voltor?
no.
So then when the Peach scene comes,
Oh no! He just sucks on the whole orb.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how Charmander, like,
yeah,
he like loved Ash like so much, but then he turned into Charizard. Then he was like, I hate you.
Okay, so literally it's puberty because he was a cute little like, oh my son's so fucking cute. He's such a good little boy, and then puberty hits, and he's like, Charmeleon, fuck you.
But Charizard like actually hated him basically.
Kinda. Well, Charizard's just like, I'm too fucking pretty for this shit. You can't. I'm a bad bitch. You
Oh,
can't.
so
kill me.
They
Charizard's
explained it
a
in the
college
anime,
kid.
though.
Yeah, Charizard
yeah,
is college.
Charizard's bad
In
in
the
Muji.
anime, apparently, when
Charizard
Charmander
buffs.
evolved into Charmeleon, Charmeleon started acting up because Ash didn't have enough money to raise him. He was literally too broke for a Charmeleon.
Wait, I thought it was the badges.
No, it was because he was too broke to have a Charmeleon.
That makes no sense.
He's like, if you can't keep up with my lifestyle, I don't know if I can keep doing this.
Yeah.
No, but then like at the end where Ash is like, man, I gotta give Charizard. Why does he give Charizard up?
He gives Charizard up so he could train in like this Charizard Island.
Oh yeah, because he wants like the best for Charizard, and Charizard looks back and he's like, he's crying and shit.
Aww.
But he came back to fight Entei.
Yeah, that shit was tight.
Yeah.
So like basically Ash sent Charizard off to college, and then he like came back.
Deadass,
So
yeah.
when he came back, was he better with Ash?
He was
Kinda.
OP, yeah.
Yeah, he was strong.
It was a whole ass Dragon Ball Z entrance. Like he came in for like a dramatic entrance.
Wait,
and
was
it's-
he in the like with Ash after Pokemon 3?
No, he
well-
went back to the island, or
I'm pretty
breed
sure,
with
yeah.
other Charizards.
Did the third Pokemon?
Breed.
Oh, no, yeah, never mind. I was gonna say the third Pokemon movie came out like after the second generation of second
They were
season when they hit Johto, like after they finished the Johto.
no, they were still in Johto. They were like
Okay.
midway through Johto.
Okay, because Charizard's with him in Johto.
Yeah, no, he leaves also halfway through Johto.
Oh, okay.
So they get to Johto, like a quarter in, Ash gives him up. Then like halfway there, the movie comes out. They get to the end of Johto, and they make the Pokemon Heroes movie. And they also made that Pokemon Chronicles TV show.
Yeah, that was okay with the Legend of Thunder with Raikou and all that.
Yeah, the kid from Pokemon Gold and Silver.
Yeah.
Do y'all realize like how weird Pokemon is sometimes? Like,
Yeah.
especially with like the
Yeah.
breeding things.
Yeah.
Some people like deadass got angry online. They're like, oh, I left two Pokemon at the daycare or whatever. I left a male and why can't a male and a female make an egg? Why can't a male and a male make an egg? It's like that's not how breeding works. You dumb fucking bitch. Yeah.
Unless if you have a Ditto.
Yay!
Yeah,
Good
well,
job.
Ditto's like in drop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Honestly, that was a rocking segment, and
That
you
was
talked for
really
a
good.
good while, dude.
An hour and a half.
I'll have more to add on the official.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Got
like,
4 more
really,
hours in.
we could have kept talking
I'm
about
not gonna
Pokemon.
lie. That was like an hour and a half. I'm already tired. I don't know how we're gonna do this for 3 days.
Monster.
We can do it.
Because all of us aren't going to be here at every single moment.
Yeah.
Unless we get those rules back, and that's what Gideon says.
Okay, well then we could just like sleep.
Yeah.
Or not.
Let's
Or do
get
homework.
sleeping
We're gonna
bags.
bring
Or
in
do
the
homework,
couch
yeah.
and stuff, dude.
Let's have someone cater.
All right. So.
Or we can all just
Slotsky's
stay up for
caters, and they're really
55
good.
hours
I'll be in a
and start
onesie.
hallucinating.
Yeah.
Cameron can do that.
All right. So the next segment, should we do Braden's segment or Phoenix's?
Who's ready? Who wants to
Or
go?
Hector's.
Let's do
Hector
Phoenix's.
go.
Yeah, Phoenix. Let's do yours.
Listen,
Did-
I'm not.
you didn't
that
study?
prepared. I studied. Yeah, I got stuff.
Okay,
Don't
then
lie
But
to
it's
me.
not
Braden.
so like formatted the way I want. Yet.
Listen, Phoenix, there's a saying that I have when it comes to acting. Improv is winprov, chief.
Yeah.
Like,
We can just roll with it. I mean, really, I can talk about.
Hector Mendoza, everybody.
I can talk about black people for a while.
professional actor.
Oh, what about him?
They're pretty cool.
Yeah, Hispanic actors are pretty good, you know.
Yeah.
I hope Gala Garcia is watching this and he's like,
So,
you know,
how do y'all feel about you know how the new
Fracking?
Fantastic Beast is coming out?
Yeah.
And do y'all saw how the snake Nagini, right? Nagini, she's Asian, and so people were mad that she was Asian and calling it racist.
I think people are just being fake woke, in my opinion. Like,
Why are people mad?
Because
'Cause
she
I
was
don't-
like, "Well, of course they put an Asian as Voldemort."
like they're like,
slave."
of course, they're like, of course they're putting like,
Of course they
Oh
did.
my
but, like they're like, of course they're having a minority, like.
They saw his nose slant. They're like, it looks like that.
People are getting upset because a minority is being represented that way, and they're putting them as like to the side as like
I mean,
I think that's
honestly,
really
guess
freaking cool.
guess what history is, dude.
Exactly.
feel
like,
like-
I think people are just being fake woke about it.
I mean, this
and
movie
half-
takes place in the 20s.
Yeah,
It's a
most
very
of
different
Twitter
time.
is fake woke, so when they go
Yeah.
after someone, like they don't do their research fair enough, so they're making like these blind statements against other people.
Yeah.
I
But
read
isn't like
something-
Harry Potter like about like
It's
race relations?
sociopolitical,
You did
yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Very.
Yeah, like with the whole concept of like purebred wizards and like non-purebred wizards and half-bloods, it's supposed to be very socio-political. In fact, even the term mudblood's supposed to be like essentially the N-word of the Harry Potter world.
Yeah.
Wow. They really throw it around quite a bit, though.
Yeah.
Well, usually, like you say like the N word in public, and people are like, "Fuck," but you're just like, "Oh, mudblood," and then I was like, "Damn,
You filthy mudblood.
It's like, oh fuck,
Damn, chill.
these fucking yee ass wizards."
Back to
Are-
what Hector was saying earlier. I read something earlier. Steve Carell, like they were asking him about like if he would revamp The Office and come back, and he was saying like in today's day and age of 2018 that would not work
Oh, no,
because
no way.
people are so like
so
fake
sensitive
woke,
and
so
fake
sensitive. All those jokes, like the diversity day, like the network would be shut down. Like
Well, I
that
mean,
would not happen.
The
in
Office
today's
sucks
day.
ass anyway, so like.
Oof, I didn't
Well,
say
okay,
all that.
podcast-
I didn't say
Stop
it.
the stream.
All right, so Hector,
You're about to get 20
I
fake bitches and
I
put it on your ass.
respect your opinion.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
feel like you guys only hate The Office.
I don't respect
because
any of y'all's
you
Everyone
think
else
you're
likes
trying to
it.
be cool.
Counterculture.
No, I really don't like it.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, okay.
Look at you and your little
Genuine
physical
opinion.
patch.
I do not
If
give a
you-
shit about The Office. I feel neither hate nor love for it. I don't give a fuck.
It's cringy.
If you really think about it, it is a totally different country's style of comedy.
Well, not really. Like the
Yeah.
American version of it, like the British version has like a really distinct. Like I get that, but like the American version, like you can see where like the first season they do try to replicate that style, but like as it evolved, like I mean you can even see with like the lighting and
Phoenix's mom thinks The Office rocks.
We love The Office in my house.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, Chief. I disagree.
Well, see, okay.
Also, hold on.
I like
Up
honestly
here.
feel that like it is a really good long running TV show. There are bits of it where it is definitely cringy at moments, but I also feel that it's actually trying to
Do
say
you guys
something
like
in
Parks
general.
and Rec? Like,
Yeah.
is it-
I
is it,
haven't
like,
seen an
side?
episode.
I
of
like
it.
Parks and Rec.
Okay.
Parks and Rec is I feel like a better
It looks
Office
like a bootleg
personally.
version of The Office.
It is.
Yeah,
it's made by the
it
same
It's
people.
better.
Yeah. Is it better? I've
Yes.
heard
Yeah.
that it's better, but
It's
I've
better.
also heard it's worse.
It is more. It's
because
cleaner.
the characters are more real.
I work at an organization where there are people
I-
who are just like the characters on the show.
Hey, it's
Oh, yeah, my
relatable.
mom's office is
I don't know.
better.
I
What a-
think
what a
Parks
life.
and Rec is better. I care more for the characters in Parks and Rec because they are more lively. They're more energetic. The Office, because they try and make it a little more mundane. They're less interesting most of the time. There are the episodes that like stand out, but then there's the ones that are just kind of like you can pass.
Do you
on.
remember the one where Dwight like shoots his aunt with a shotgun like at her funeral? Because that shit made me like laugh for 3 days straight.
Also, hold on, I want to interrupt. Good stuff. Thank you. Next time, talk about Uncharted, Telltale games, new Spider-Man game,
We
and
can talk about
Clancy's
Telltale
Division.
games, dude.
Dude,
I'd love to
Back
talk-
You
the
did talk
Future
about
Telltale
Uncharted. She
Edition.
probably just didn't hear.
Except we won't get that
I'll-
because Telltale like fucking shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
No.
Listen, they Kurt
we have to
Cobained themselves,
play
actually.
Tales from the Borderlands. To me, that's
That
the
was so
best
sad the
Telltale game
Telltale
ever.
company went bankrupt
Yeah.
and gone.
I will say I'm interested on talking about Tom Clancy's Division because that's like games based on books.
Yeah.
So I'll do a little more research on that for next time.
I like that comment right now that we got. It's
Okay.
uncanny how messy, quirky, and strange real people can be. Art really does imitate life.
That's
it doesn't.
true.
It doesn't have
Woke.
to deal with The Office, but you know, with like
Get
other
off the
TV
street.
shows,
Has to go now.
you know, art really does imitate life.
Yeah, it's a
And
beauty to it.
there
Like
really
what
is.
shows?
Can I mention one more
That's
thing
how
about the
you
Harry
should.
Potter thing?
Oh,
Yeah, I
go-
wanted to
go
say back
Cameron.
on that Nagini thing. I feel like no matter what, people are gonna be mad. Like, why isn't there representation? Blah blah blah. And then when there is representation, it's like,
They're like,
Yeah.
"That's
this is portrayed
racist."
bad. This is
Yeah.
racist. It's like, okay, what do you
People
want from
try
me?
to make
Jade.
like, race out of everything.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, really, you like can't have your cake and eat it too. You
Okay,
because you really
but
have to
JK
choose what you want.
J.K. Rowling was like, she's like, I've been planning her as a person for 20 years. And I was just like, okay,
And
sure
remember, did you hear
have.
that thing like
Planning
about
to do
her?
5 Fantastic Beast movies for 20 years.
Oh,
That's
so
gonna be
you think the
sad.
Fantastic Beast stuff is
No,
just
I
cash
mean-
grabs?
It
I
is.
mean,
Oh,
the-
yeah,
definitely,
it is.
without a
Nagini.
doubt.
They're fun to watch. I don't give a fuck.
If
did
she
not
says
like
she
the
had
first
it in
one,
the
to be
works,
honest.
then it was in the works.
Honestly, though, with Fantastic Beasts, I know it's a cash grab. I know that I'm spending money and giving it to J.K. Rowling. and
Which is
the
fine.
marketing.
You're giving
But it's-
Depp to fund him buying 145 suits in Vietnam.
But honestly, like, I love the wizarding world. I'm reading Harry Potter right now for the first time. I'm enjoying it, and I love how like this whole series connects to like the other wizarding world. Like, yeah, you experienced Hogwarts, but there's a whole world out there.
World,
You
yeah.
experienced
I
Hogwarts.
want to do
There's a
Ivermore.
whole world.
By the
We
way,
need Ivermore
my
then.
mother is a Ravenclaw. I'm a Hufflepuff.
Claw.
What are you
Slytherin
guys?
for the
I
win.
am also a
All right.
Ravenclaw.
I'm a
Alright.
Gryffindor.
I've seen all the
I
movies.
rule you
Never
all.
Cut the stream.
I've never read a Harry Potter book in my
Ravenclaw
life.
is the only good class.
That's
me,
a hot
Me,
take.
Justin, and Jarvis.
house.
And Phoenix, we have this.
I'm sorry.
Ravenclaws are tanks.
What did you say?
Me,
Kim?
Justin, Jarvis, and Phoenix. We have our
Fanfic.
fan.
Yeah. Go ahead and
If we-
plug
Yeah,
it.
what's
Plug it
the
right
story?
now.
If we went to Hogwarts and met. Okay, so Justin transfers from Ivermorny to Hogwarts,
Yeah.
and he gets sorted into Hufflepuff with Phoenix, and so they
Huff and Puff, bro.
Yeah.
and they become friends. And Jarvis is in Ravenclaw, and I'm in Slytherin, and we know each other because I sit next to Jarvis in potions class.
Yeah. And then also we hate Harry Potter.
All about Ravenclaw.
All about
Dave,
Ravenclaw.
can you calm down?
Yeah, claw,
All
claw,
hail
claw.
Slytherin.
No.
So what was y'all? Did y'all like decide your blood?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pure blood.
Yeah, no shit.
You're
I'm
half-blood.
I am
Oh,
half blood.
and Justin is mudblood.
Whoa! You can't say that word. Only Justin can say that word.
All
stream.
Hufflepuffs are mudblood. That's just it.
And so me and Justin meet because he's on the Quidditch team for Hufflepuff, and I'm on the Quidditch team for Slytherin. And so we get into a fight, and then that's why I meet Phoenix because Phoenix sticks up for Justin.
Can you hear this?
And then Jarvis is just my friend, and so we all. And then there's like a school shooting.
Wait, what is
Your mic is the lowest.
Well, people are going. This guy like breaks into Hogwarts and starts
It's like
abandoning
a
everybody.
Mudblood.
Shooting it. Oh my
You
god.
know?
Mudblood.
They're like Avada Kedavra, like Avada
Back and never,
So we
back and
all
never.
come together.
Yeah.
But then that becomes one of those things.
chapped. Now's the time to strike.
You know when you say a word like over and over again and then it loses its meaning?
Yeah.
Would you just like eventually just like peter out saying Avada Kedavra because it's just like you just like forget how to say it?
Abracadabra.
I swear this has never happened.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra. Wait.
Oh, man.
Just wanted to say also.
Can we talk about how Avada Kedavra is the weakest like spell name in all
and
the Harry
that's
Yeah,
Potter?
but it's the
that
most
kills
powerful.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so
I think that was done on purpose, honestly.
Yeah, ironic.
I like Crucio.
I like.
I feel like if I would have gone
Wingardium Leviosa.
it's
I-
Olivia
just in case.
I like
Oh.
I like fetus deletus.
That's my favorite.
Comes in a pinch. Comes in handy in a pinch.
I feel like if I were a Hogwarts student, though, I feel like I'd probably bully the shit out of Draco.
Yeah.
I can't imagine you bullying anyone.
Oh, I
No.
definitely date Draco.
you twerp.
I would just like ruffle his hair.
I've never called anybody like a twerp. Like Draco Malfoy is a fucking twerp.
Okay,
He
y'all
had
are
a
too
hard
mean
life,
to
though.
Draco.
Yeah, he
Like-
tried
No.
his family forced like all that.
Whoa!
evilness on
I'm on
Hope.
Order of the Phoenix. Whoa!
But you've seen the
I mean,
movies.
I haven't seen the movies either.
You haven't seen the movie?
So
He's
number
only got
6,
Where the
right?
fuck have you been for the past 20 years?
In the United States of America.
Literally all of us. You cannot pull that fucking excuse.
But it's not Draco's fault that he was raised in that type of environment.
Listen, you can have a
Yeah.
horrible fucking family and not treat people like a piece of shit. Like,
Yeah.
It's possible.
That's just like the social learning theory.
And I feel like Draco Malfoy and the Malfoy family is like a direct comparison, like conservatism in America.
Yeah.
Because think about it, like
You're looking too deep into this, buddy.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
About it.
Chief.
and not necessarily conservatism, but just like other political views, like extreme views, because they essentially brainwashed Draco into that like
To hating Harry Potter.
not hating
Only
Harry Potter.
Okay, well, everyone would hate Harry Potter. You have to admit, if we went to school, I
Harry
would
Harry
hate
Potter
him.
would
Yeah,
be
our fanfic
annoying.
takes place before.
I'd be like, Harry, can you
No.
maybe knock it the fuck off? I'm trying to get my education
I
here.
know, like you're ruining everything.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Every year.
He's not like he's kind of just like yep, I'm Harry Potter.
And in the
The
book,
shit
Harry's
kinda
a
happens to him.
bitch.
Yeah, Harry's
That's
terrible
true.
in the
Like, I
books.
feel
It's
like
not Harry's fault.
That's only
He's
happening
the
because
most
his dad was
annoying
like that.
protagonist ever.
Yeah.
But
But we
I
love
want like
him.
a different like cut of like the Harry Potter movies where it's just like Harry does some shit and it just cuts us like some random ass like Hufflepuff being like,
Okay, Wait, in the book, like, you know how Cho Chang or whatever, like, Cedric dies, and then Harry's trying to get with Cho, and then she's, like, crying, and Harry's like, can you, like, shut up? He doesn't say that,
He's
but
like,
he's
yo.
speaking it. He's like, I wish she could just get over it and be with me. Like, you're so annoying. Why are you crying? Yeah, that's what
Harry's a terrible person.
That's a direct quote, right?
Yeah.
basically something like that.
Harry honestly is a terrible person. If you really think about it, the only reason that he is a hero is because everyone has told him that he's a hero.
Because he's a Gryffindor now. Everybody hyped up.
He's a mudblood Gryffindor.
Dirty mudblood.
Filthy mudblood.
Jesus
I don't
Well,
like this.
I'm a Gryffindor and I'm pretty okay.
Yeah, you are Gryffindor.
What's your blood status?
I'm an A positive.
Full blown AIDS. Okay. Like,
Even my blood is smart.
I got
Is
some
there
high
wizard
cholesterol,
AIDS?
but other than that, I'm.
Oh yeah, Wizard
You should, like
Eggs.
shoot out fireworks.
Aren't you?
Wizard
Wouldn't you
eggs.
say you're pure blood, right?
No, I'm.
I think I'm pure.
Oh
blood.
yeah, I think I am pure. Yeah.
Because that's why I'm friends with you.
Oh yeah, because we're both the
Yeah, if you weren't
best.
pure, I wouldn't be friends with you.
Sorry. I'm honestly I am sorry that your blood is ruined.
I'm gonna take this sorting quiz right now again because I forget what blood I am.
All right, do it right now.
It doesn't
forget
tell
what blood
you
type
what.
it is.
It doesn't.
Then how do you? Okay, I thought it did.
You just decide.
Okay, well then I'm.
Okay,
I'm fucking
going
pure blood.
into the chat. Someone read it.
Harry always shows that when things go wrong or someone dies, and then contaminates the scene of the crime. Ways that's guilty as hell.
Every time something bad happens, you turn around and like Harry
Harry's
turns it right
And
there.
then his hands are over everything.
Fire
It wasn't me.
Dies, and he's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Yes,
He's
like, stop,
touching
you're
it.
touching the dead body.
Don't do this.
Yeah, because they totally had like the criminal justice system at Hogwarts, right? They were totally analyzing and swabbing the body for like fingerprints and clues.
It
Dude,
was
well, no,
when
I
they
mean,
put
like, think
serious-
about like, and have you seen this? Have you read the second book?
the second Chamber
Serious?
of Secrets, yeah.
Yeah, whenever like he's like standing over like the kid with the.
The camera.
Yeah, and he's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and then Professor McGonagall's like, "Oh, Harry," like, he's like, "You've really done it this time, lad."
I remember Snape spent the entire book trying to put the blame on Harry, and he's like, Harry Potter, I will find out if you did this, and I will get you expelled.
They could just use
was a
Legolas
terrible
or whatever on
impression
him
of
to see
Snape.
if he actually did it, and they
You know
didn't.
what?
Because Snape, I don't think Snape ever reached that level of intensity.
He did in the movie when he yelled at Harry.
I thought you hadn't seen any movies.
Harry Potter.
Like when I finished the movie, the book, I watched the movie.
Stop it, Ron.
They didn't give Sirius Black a trial,
No, they didn't. They assumed him in jail.
but they
I know,
all they
they're
could
gonna
have
suck
done
out
is
his
look at
fucking
his
soul.
memories. Like that's it. They could
Why
have just
did
looked
they
at his
look at
memories.
memories?
Cause I don't know.
Maybe she just
Because
hadn't like developed
plot.
it into that much.
Dirty mudblood.
Okay, but honestly,
actually a pretty
I
blood.
think
that was
J.K.
good shit.
Rowling, she came up, Rowling, whatever her name is, she came up with reading
Whatever
the
her name is.
minds later on. Like I don't think
That's
she
what it said.
actually.
Void like to put in for plot or like.
Yeah, like that wasn't mentioned in the first book.
Yeah, it's
or-
almost like she was coming up with things on the fly, like she said she wasn't.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they
Rowling
introduced like the idea. They introduced the idea of like being able to like change people's memories and stuff like with Lockhart and Chamber of Secrets and stuff like that. So
Well, also, I mean, like,
Well,
if you like really think about it, do you think J.K. Rowling could even have an inkling of how popular this wizarding world would ever be?
Well,
No.
she was sitting on a park bench without a home. She gave everything she could for
Yeah.
this book.
And
She was
I'm
hoping to get,
and,
like,
and honestly,
a
I'm
rating.
so happy
And
that,
now
that
that
she's
she has
getting the
tons of
credit
money,
that she
just
deserves.
wants more.
Well, here's the thing,
Yeah.
though. The cool thing about Rowling is that she gives away most of her wealth to like charity, and
Yeah,
she
so
made
fuck
her own
you,
charity. She used to be on like whatever list of like the wealthiest people like in the world, but she lost that status because she gave up most of that money for charity.
Making moves, J.K.
And then she was like, "Hey, so I'm gonna take this little short story and turn it into 5 fucking movies."
It's
Yeah.
not even the story; it's literally the textbook.
Yeah, it's just textbook.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Because
back to my
speaking of
set.
short stories, there's the Tales of Beetle the Bard, and there's within it there's the story that the 3 brothers, the Percival, no, that's not right, something along those lines, Parasail brothers, and they're
That
the
is
ones that
not their
I know it's not
name.
Parasail, but that's where
Caroline.
the little icon comes in with the cloak of invisibility, the triangle,
yeah,
the circle, which is
curly.
the
Oh, the
stone,
Deathly
and then
Hallows.
the Elder Wand, which is the vertical line. And I want a movie of that.
Honestly,
More than
in
Fantastic Beasts.
When you see the end of the trailer, like when they form the end credits of the title, you see those symbols in the names. Like you see the Elder Wand, the triangle.
Because that's
the
what
circle. I
this-
feel like they're gonna like start getting into
Because
that.
Grindelwald, what's his
Grindelwald,
name? Grindelwald,
yeah.
he was looking for those items.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has the other one. Yeah.
Yeah. But but then Dumbledore came along.
And then he killed his
fucked him.
sister.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
GG.
Honestly, I saw the first Fantastic Beasts, did not really enjoy it. I
was
put off
okay.
seeing the trailer for the second one until I was forced to because I was seeing a different movie and it played and I got mad. I'm not going to see the second one. I just don't care about the franchise.
You don't care about Nagini?
I wanna,
Oh, well, yeah, because I'm Asian, I identify with Nagini. I'm a fucking snake.
I'm gonna see this movie just because.
Whoa. Pump the hate brakes.
Wait, hold on. Let me
Well,
interject
what's
here.
his name? Is
On
a
the
Hufflepuff.
official actual run? Am I allowed to do the kabuki laugh or the kabuki yell, or is that like too?
What is it?
I don't know.
Do it.
That shit.
That's
yes,
fine.
do
yeah.
it.
I don't know.
Right now. Right now.
I just fucking did it.
But like loud.
What's
Yo!
like the context
But I
of
really
it?
fucking do it.
Just funny. All right, guys, we've been talking for 2 hours.
Wake me up.
Well,
Anyways,
not really.
back to
You're
the
rounding up
questions.
10 whole minutes, Jarvis.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh my god.
It's only been an hour 50.
Yeah.
Wait, what is the segment that we're doing right now?
This was
don't
just
know.
like an
Social issues in
impromptu.
film. We were talking about like Nagini and.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
okay. Backpedal,
It's
backpedal.
the great name Guinea.
Ah!
In the book, by the way, I just wanted to point out that J.K. Rowling was talking about how the Hermione, she talks a lot in her description. She's supposed to be of like
Oh my
darker
God.
color, curlier, nappier
No,
hair.
she's
So it's said to be Hermione was supposed to be some sort of African American.
that is not true at all.
That is true.
In the description,
Not American.
in the description, she's like not. She's like all her description is that she has poofy hair, like not even poofy, just like not
And
like frizzy hair.
that's what she looked like in the
Yeah,
first
Hermione
like
did have
couple
frizzy
movies, and then
hair.
they're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, let's sexualize her."
And then
They sexualized.
God, they did.
then,
Hell yeah!
then J.K. Rowling is like, oh yeah, she's supposed to be black, and then everyone just like
No.
Again, it's with J.K. Rowling saying like, "Oh yeah, this
Because
is my original intent
because
for,
she
for
didn't
like the
put
entire
enough
time." But no,
diversity in
it's-
her books.
yeah, it's her changing her mind just to pander.
yeah,
just
please
Yeah.
the crowd.
Yeah.
Which also, I mean, like that is very true of what a lot of creators do. Because I mean, like
Yeah,
if
that's
you
true.
if you
In
change
In
It's
my
like
like
a
they
segment,
say
I'll talk about
no.
how Marvel
was
panders
actually-
their comics to their movies.
I was thinking about this the
boy.
other. I was
thinking about this the other day.
If you keep telling us everything that's going to be in your segment, no one's going to have anything to talk about, Braden.
Got 'em.
So.
I mean, I've got a whole like page full of notes. What did you bring?
I was thinking about this the other day. So
We're out of apple juice.
I had 5 of those, so it's probably my fault. But hitting the sauce early. I was thinking about this the other day. So like with stuff like that, where it's like, oh yeah, Hermione's actually supposed to be black. Like when artists like make their art or whatever, like can they actually like do that shit, or like does it like belong to us? You know, like does their art like
What do you mean,
That's a
like,
big
as-
question,
when you,
honestly.
So you're saying like as you're reading the book, should it just be your take on what the character is?
Yeah.
Or should you listen to the writer, what
Yeah.
they're saying?
Because I was thinking when I was like working the other day, because like I walk around the parking lots and give out tickets like an asshole, so I got a lot of time to think to myself. I was thinking like about songs, and I was like, oh, there's songs that like I have liked, and then I'll look at like interviews with like artists, and they'll be like, oh yeah, this is like our weakest album, we hate it or whatever. I'm like, I love this.
love it,
So it's
yeah.
like, is any particular like
That is a big
You know what I'm
question.
saying?
I feel like with books, as you're reading, the whole purpose is supposed to like take in what you expect, like what you want and whatever. But when it goes to book to screen, that's when like things get disconnected and messed up, because then people are always like, this was nothing like the book. I hated it. And then it's like, okay, that's.
It's
I
hard to
don't know, it's hard,
disassociate
yeah.
the
It's hard to
actual
disassociate.
images.
Jackson.
oh my god.
And then also, I mean, really, that is
Did
that
you
is
like
that's the
Percy
point.
Jackson, though? Or
I like
did
the
you
first one.
hated it?
I feel like this also has to go with the philosophy of the director, because sometimes the
Yeah.
director is going to be like, okay, I want to make this as accurate and just close as possible to the book.
Yeah.
Like The Great Gatsby, certain lines from The Great Gatsby were taken from the novel, but then look at like
Fan
Cap-
Four Stick, where they made Human Torch Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
well,
that they were
Michael B.
siblings,
Jordan's just a good
I like
actor.
Michael B.
adopted
Jordan.
siblings.
I mean, like really, I like feel when you're like asking the like question of who has ownership over a creative idea. I think the act of like actually writing anything and like putting it out there, the point is to put it out there for other people to take in
Right.
and to interpret. So after a certain point, your idea can run wild, and then it's not
Like
actually
communism.
yours. Yeah, basically like the good old
Karl Marx.
communism.
What a
So-
crazy guy.
So I mean, really, I mean, I personally feel once you put something out into the world, you are releasing ownership of that idea.
Yes.
Those
Yes.
are-
Oh my
Percy Jackson
god.
books are amazing. Those movies are trash.
I
loved
enjoyed the
scene
second
when
book.
They were in Vegas or whatever, and they
Okay,
have
yeah.
the
I
little
appreciate what you said, though,
flower-
Jarvis.
Yeah, and then they're just like stuck there. That was interesting.
I like that they really wanted to save money on the budget, so when they introduced Tyson, his Cyclops half brother,
Okay.
they had the
They
mist
pulled out
like
the bottle of
spray,
mist.
and it's just like, look, now I have two eyes.
I also liked how they knew that their entire movie series was like going into the dumps, like, into the, like so they just wrapped up the
into-
entire
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Oh,
Did y'all read, like, the
Medusa's scene with the
second
little
series?
garden
Yeah.
and the statues?
good.
That
That's
was
not bad.
that was really nice. I did love that.
That was really good.
That was cool.
I like when Grover was dancing on the. Grover, he wears like a fedora and he does like
my
a
God.
in sync type dance number with like all these random hotel people.
You lost me at Fedora.
Oh yeah, he was a hardcore neckbeard.
Ooh.
Didn't he have one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like actually?
He had a goat tea.
Yeah, and with the book thing, I think at the end of
Goat
the day, beauty
tea.
is fine.
Because he's a goat.
I don't get it.
Half of one.
He's a satyr.
The Darkest Minds. Anyone read that book? And did y'all see
Are we
it?
just talking about books now?
I-
Is that
oh my god, the movie
50
was
Shades of Grey,
awful.
guys.
50 Shades of Grey?
I could go on a rant about like how the young adult like
Yeah.
Why-
the
YA
young adult,
novels are inherently
genre
bad.
thing about that, it just like it spiraled out of control, and it just I think Hunger Games ushered in that era of just like
did.
this
It
is
really
shit.
And
Hunger
then
Games was good,
Divergent
okay,
solidified it.
Hunger
Yeah,
Games, the
Hunger
first one
Games
was good.
was
I
good,
feel like
and
the
then-
books got worse in quality, the movies got better.
Yeah.
And then
Uh,
Divergent started coming out, and then what is that? The one with Dylan O'Brien or whatever.
The Maze Runner.
Maze,
Maze
okay,
Runner.
Maze Runner was
Maze
good.
Runner was good.
That franchise, but
Everybody
I just mean
forgot.
like the
Yeah,
young
I don't know
adult
what's
with the
happening
with
now.
the strong lead female character that's
I
super
hate that.
independent and
And
strong,
then they get
and
into
then
factions,
and-
and then their parents die, and she gets to go fool around with.
but
her
and she's
love
super
interest.
independent and strong, but then she gets with the prettiest boy.
Yeah, the
and
Like
then
super
some
hunk.
Yeah, I hate.
Because I mean, really,
And her
it
parents have to be
is.
dead.
Yeah, their parents are dead, so she can like leave and fool around and everything.
I'm going to go pee.
Yeah,
I'll
go
be right
ahead.
back.
Well, I mean,
After this
really,
commercial
like,
break.
I mean, that is done because it is supposed to capture a certain audience. It's supposed to
it's the
capture the
YA.
Yeah,
like,
they
like young
they
girl
cast
audience.
their net like they threw like 10 nets over the same audience,
Yeah,
and it was too much.
And they keep making the dystopian movies.
yeah,
Yes.
because
I mean,
for
there's
some-
and then
so-
there's
Giver
like
was
the
good.
fifth wave.
There's
Wave.
so
Chloe
Loved
Grace
the
Moretz.
Giver.
I hated the Giver movie.
There's
the book is great. I really like the
I
book.
love the book too. I read it in class. Yeah.
there's so
just
many
think that
other
books are flop.
genres
It is
that
a flop.
books that they can go towards that they want to make them into movies, but they keep just picking the dystopian.
Hold on one minute.
And they
Who's
also-
D. Roberts?
They also give it like an angsty
That's my
vibe.
father.
Oh,
Nice.
My family has took over.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. They keep giving it like this angsty teenage vibe
Yeah.
in the movie, and it loses its quality because then everyone replicates it, and so you're seeing the same story but with different actors. You know, same poop, different toilet.
yeah.
But what would y'all do in the
Oh,
Hunger
knows
Games?
everybody.
How
In
how
the
would
Hunger
how is that
Games?
possible? The same poop and different.
you're right.
Wait, what do you? Let me think.
I would like to know the logistics of this.
I guess if you're unsanitary and don't flush, and there's like two.
So you just like throw a
bathrooms-
hand in there and you just like you pick it
I don't
up
like
and put
this.
it
Or
in
you
the
get like a poop
controller.
scooper thing.
Yeah,
Would y'all
yeah.
survive in the Hunger Games?
I don't
I
know
don't
because I've
think
never
I'd-
read the books or
I'd
seen the
make-
movie. So
I think I would try to do the same thing that Peter does, but I'm a really shitty artist, so like everyone would see me immediately.
I know you tried to disguise it. I'm like, what is
You just have like a gallon of brown paint and you just dump it on yourself.
I'd probably be one of those that like hid out until the very end.
Yeah,
and then
I'd
like
be- I
after
just camp
after
the
they
whole
get
time.
out, they become like heroin addicts because they're so crazy. They're just like I was like traumatized.
TikTok. Honey Bunny from Pulp Fiction, everyone.
Yeah, I love Pulp Fiction.
So Phoenix.
You know,
what about the
Hung-
race?
You know
in
what
film?
would have been better in Hunger Games?
The race
if,
of
like,
film, your
the
entire
force field
segment.
that surrounded the entire thing like slowly enclosed like Fortnite. That would have made it a lot better.
Fortnite the movie.
Honestly.
Wait, for Hunger Games?
Yes.
They kind of do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like they have like they'll shoot like fireballs at you or like
they draw them
wolves.
in together.
Yeah, they
Well,
like
yeah, the
push them
wolves
together.
like make them go into the.
They don't have like a distinct like border thing, but they do things to push them together. Like
Well, but what if you're just camouflaged? Then they don't know where you are.
they have like
Hunger
trackers.
Games was the
Oh,
first
yeah.
Fortnite. You heard it here, folks.
Hunger
Yeah.
Games is the first Fortnite battle royale.
Because what's her
Battle
name?
Royale's the first
Oh my God,
Battle Royale.
what's her name? Like cut out the tracker from Katniss's arm. Why didn't like people just do that on their own?
Because they didn't know.
Because they're not hardcore enough like Katniss Everdeen because she's a strong teenage woman
Yeah, they didn't
coming
hunt
into her
squirrels.
own.
I thought it was stupid how she was mad at Gil because
I thought it was stupid that she had a choice between two pretty boys and that was a big
Can
plot
we
point for
talk
her.
about love triangles in movies?
Which pretty boy do I get to choose in this dystopian future?
Literally, almost every single last love triangle is terrible.
Love triangles are so annoying.
My father says in the Hunger Games he'd let everyone take each other out, then I surprised the last one stand.
Oh, guys,
Too
I had
easy.
this like plan, okay? So if I was in the Hunger Games, I would make an alliance, right? And I'd be like, okay, yeah, everyone, like, I'll take first watch. And when they go to sleep, I'll just kill them each one
So
by
you-
one.
so
I
you
think
keep
they would
on doing
honestly
that.
believe that
If
in
I'm
the
in your
fucking
group, I'm not
Hunger
gonna believe
Games.
that. I'm not gonna fall asleep and let you keep watching.
Like,
So when
But
I'm
I'd
on the
be friends
train,
with
I
you
would
first,
stuff
so
a
you-
ton of ramen in my pants, and then like I would just wait.
What?
Well, wait, but you have to get dressed by Lenny Kravitz before, so
Yeah,
you're
you're
gonna lose
right.
all that
That's
ramen.
Yeah, they shave off like every piece of hair from your body.
Why?
No, with wax. In the book, they like wax like everyone.
Oh my god.
Thank you.
Oh, hey, yeah, you should probably get back to work. That's a good idea. Sorry. That's so cold.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us. We have 3 viewers, guys.
Thank
You
you.
got 4.
It's just my family.
We
All
just
right.
gotta do this for like 53 hours on the actual day of the podcast.
53 more hours.
Oh, this
Yeah.
this looks official.
I can do that.
Oh, you got a highlight and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we talking about?
Plus, I'm talking about the Godfather.
Phoenix, your
Thought we were
segment.
doing my segment.
Yeah,
I'm talking
go.
about some
I don't have
Breakers
a lot,
reading
okay.
portion.
I'm talking about the Dark Knight and also comics.
Talk about race
that
in
on my
film
segment about
and
comics.
why A Crack in Time was bad.
All right.
What?
One, I love
I'll
The
leave it
Wrinkle in
second.
Time, but
Oh,
we'll get
Wrinkle in
there.
Time.
We'll get there.
You did not like The Wrinkle in Time.
I hated
After we
A Wrinkle
saw
in
it, we
Time.
talked about how
Everyone
bad it
hated
was.
A Wrinkle in Time.
Let's get into this.
Ava DuVernay herself.
Ava DuVernay.
Hate it. I don't know.
Okay, but
I hope she
everyone's
did.
like, we need more women in like filmmaking.
That's
But
what
all
I'm
the
saying.
women that make films,
Yeah.
not
Like,
they don't.
Yeah,
have this
like, I'm not
conversation.
gonna support them
It's
if they
like,
make bad movies. I'm
want-
gonna support them if they
yeah,
make good
I want
films.
the
Women can only be in
representation.
film if they make good movies.
Okay.
That's not what you were saying.
Anyone
No,
can be in
that-
film if they make good
It just
movies.
sucks.
They should
They
make
don't
What you guys
give-
are doing right now, that's what we're talking about. Like, when we want more women in representation in film, we don't want the men to go behind it and be like, okay, well, she sucks. We don't need more, blah, blah, blah. 'Cause
Yeah.
What
So
you guys are
you
doing.
the women, want to be like, okay, the women suck.
No, I'm not saying you're twisting my words. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
saying,
am.
Like I'm trying not to like hit the 5 seconds of dead air, so I'm just gonna keep saying.
Keep talking. Just keep
What they're doing.
We just throw in
Okay.
ums whenever.
It's just like we want like good representation in
Yeah.
good films, but
But-
it's like it's just hard right now
Yeah.
because we're trying to get there, but we can't get there if everyone's constantly like knocking everybody down and not supporting.
Cause
and
yeah,
See,
because
I,
the
I do
woman that.
understand that, but it's not knocking them down if they didn't make a good product.
Okay, but the reason why they didn't probably have the ability to same resources because
Yeah.
nobody wants to help them out because they're women.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when you think
They
of
had
the
a-
industry, what
Here,
we're
someone look up the budget for A Wrinkle in Time because that had a pretty pretty big budget based off the cast and the CG and
I
everything.
feel like honestly, with the budget, they did have a big budget or whatever.
Oprah was in the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oprah herself
Oprah
was
was in it.
So,
But
like,
that
I feel
book
like they
itself,
did have
no matter what director,
lot
that
of
was gonna be
resources.
hard to
Here's
put
the
on
thing,
screen.
though, like I'm not gonna bash on DuVernay except for A Wrinkle in Time because I honestly hate that movie.
Yeah,
but
it was
I
not
think
good.
DuVernay's a really solid filmmaker.
Yeah,
and
she did
I feel
Selma.
like she's pushing very much forward towards like representation.
Yeah,
And I was in Austin over the summer, and we had like a guest speaker from Sundance, like the Sundance filmmaker, come in, and she actually got to work with DuVernay on one of her TV shows that I forgot. One of her new TV shows that she just had.
Oh, Queen Sugar. Yeah.
Yes, that one. And she's kind of talking
Phoenix's
about.
mom is a good point.
That's
Just 'cause
I
it's-
still wanna
yeah,
see it.
It can still be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cool thing, Transformers sucks. Yeah, I hate Michael
Headaches
Bay.
all around.
But the cool thing was that she was talking about how much DuVernay wants to push for diversity and how she essentially just coined the term inclusivity in the industry for for just minorities and women to have their own say in filmmaking. So yeah, Wrinkle in Time sucked, but let's not forget about like her other work, especially like Selma. That movie slapped.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
I'm not discounting her as a filmmaker. I'm just saying like you can't use
I'm saying I
budget
hate
for an
women.
excuse.
Exactly.
You can't use budget.
Yeah.
as
I mean,
an
okay.
excuse.
What I really
I was
feel
talking specifically about A Wrinkle in Time.
what
That movie sucked.
what I really feel the like bigger problem is, and the issue that we're trying to get at is that if a dude makes a like bad movie, he will get like a good amount of flack for it. But if a prominent woman director
Yeah.
does,
Or
she
even
will
the
she will get hit
majority.
at different angles.
Yeah.
I
It
agree.
it is a stilted business.
People
It just
roast
it
it
isn't
more.
even basically.
People will
That's
bash on it
that's
more.
that's really what the bigger issue is. It is that
No, I mean I understand that, but I'm just. Someone said there might have been influence that she didn't have as much control over it because she was a woman.
She probably
We
didn't.
don't know that for sure.
Well, also think
may
she
have
is-
she's a good filmmaker, but she may have just made a bad movie.
but
on her
also
own.
she is tied to Disney, and we all know how they operate.
Yeah.
Come on.
That is true.
Well, you also can look at like I
there
do
are
agree
good
that
Disney
especially like with like women filmmakers that they do just tend to get like a stronger reaction. So like I
Bad
think
rap.
if you look at Wonder Woman with like Patty Jenkins and stuff like that, they are expecting her to like put out the exact same thing she just did. And if Wonder Woman 1984 is like anything like
Different.
below that at all, like
They will
she will
crucify
get
her.
yeah, she will be gone. Like
So how are they making what's his name?
Steve
Chris
Trevor.
Pine?
How is he coming back from the dead?
I don't know.
I haven't even seen the
No.
first
As a
one.
ghost.
Apparently, like, there's been some sort of negotiation with, like, some demigod. or
Wonder
god,
Woman.
and then bring back-
They can't do that. It was so tragic how he died. They can't just
That was
bring him
so
back.
fucking cool,
He
though.
was
That was
like,
cool.
he was like,
He's like, I love you.
he was like, I can save the day. You can.
Well,
save
you
the
know what?
world.
I
And was
think
like,
aren't they doing it like kind of like an Elseworld story, kind of? Because it wouldn't really make sense for him to be brought back because in Justice League, like he's dead, like confirmed.
Dead.
or something
Yeah,
like that.
I mean, I don't know. He could
They're
just be
gonna
like
kill him
a
off again.
vision of.
A vision. Sorry, that's.
They
But
always,
he's like an 80s
they
clothes.
always ruin movies by doing this.
I
mean,
thought they were gonna do some shit where it was like they were gonna introduce like a Green Lantern and it was gonna be Chris Pine, but like a different like. It was gonna be like Chris, like look exactly like Chris Pine and like his character in the original Wonder Woman, but it was gonna be like a different fucking person. And Wonder Woman was gonna be
It
like,
would be
oh,
Hal
hi."
Jordan, but he
Yeah.
looks like
Yes.
Chris
Looks
Pine.
like Chris Pine.
Green Lantern, love it.
And then
I love the
and then
Bloods,
Wonder
but-
Woman.
Yeah, yeah,
Come
of
on.
course. That's what I'm talking about.
Darkest Night, my favorite Green Lantern.
Honestly, what they need to do,
What's that one about?
get
we were
rid
talking
of
about women.
Hal Joel, get
That's-
Guy Gardner a
Blackest
chance.
I said Blackest Night.
You said Darkest
said-
Night.
you did say Darkest
You
Night.
said Darkest Night, definitely.
Sorry,
and I
Darkest
wanted to
It's
snap your
it's
C7
only
vertebrae.
it's
my
only if
God.
it
Chill
mattered,
out.
you know.
Yeah.
Words are just, dude.
I will say,
Words are just
Quotable
dude.
by Jarvis. Not inebriated, completely sober and conscious. Dude, words are just.
Holy shit.
so, any predictions over Oscar noms next year?
Venom.
Stars Born.
A Star is Born.
A Star is
Yes!
Born,
It's
definitely.
Mr. Coop is gonna make it.
Coop
Mr.
is gonna
Coop
make it.
I think he's gonna definitely get like a for I don't know about best director honestly because like that movie directing wise has a lot of issues.
Yeah.
I
my
think
opinion.
it is gonna win though. Best original song.
Yeah, for sure. I think
Shallow-
it'll do best
Shallow's-
original song. I think he's gonna get nominated for best actor. I think Sam Elliott definitely has a supporting actor in there.
Yeah,
Lady
that's for
Gaga is
sure.
gonna
Sam
get
Elliott.
nominated for
She'll probably get
best-
nominated.
best
I don't.
actress.
She's
I don't
not-
think
she's
she'll
not
win.
gonna win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is Sam Elliott still a cowboy in A Star Is Born? Still a Star
How
Is Born.
is he still a cowboy?
He's still a fucking cowboy. Like,
Because
straight up.
I
I
got
honestly,
one more
honestly,
ride.
I feel he loves just playing the cowboy. I mean, I would love to play cowboy.
I think they used him
love
just
Ghost
to,
Rider.
so that he can say the word fucking because he says fucking instead of like fucking. And then Bradley Cooper, I thought that was a cool little character thing is that he says fucking exactly like his brother
Yeah.
because he's the one that raised him.
He stole his voice.
but I had something to say.
You stole my
I really
voice.
want Mr.
In the
Coop to
TV
win
show,
something,
Steve
though.
Trevor's grandson became Wonder Woman's love interest. The World War II Trevor and his 1980s grandson were played by the same actor.
Ah,
That's
go.
that's a good point, man.
Wait, but
What are you
he's
doing
dead
that?
though. He
if you
died.
can't get daddy, you gotta get the son.
Do not say that.
Sorry.
They
Well,
made-
it might be like his.
But did Steve Trevor have, like Hector's bringing up, did he have a family? Did he have children to have a
Oh,
grandson?
he
Let's
he
let's,
had he
let's
had a
move
wife,
this discussion
dude.
into the comments.
There's like a 15-second lag. We're not gonna get a comment for a while.
God damn.
We'll just go until we get a response.
She's like, we Greeks are a very progressive people.
Polyamorous.
Could you imagine being Eskimo brothers with your grandfather? Oh, you're like up top, pap pap.
You know, Eskimo is actually supposed to be a derogatory term against the indigenous people of North America.
Yeah.
we don't fucking.
Ooh.
But it's just the
You're
term is-
racist.
Like you wouldn't say like, oh, we're Inuit brothers. It's just like
Okay,
the
bye,
term is Eskimo
No,
brothers.
yeah, but yeah, I learned this recently that
Go face a
it was
fucking penguin tribunal now.
when
Squawk. Mouth, fucking gavel.
when
comes
like
out.
the English and French came to colonize Canada and like parts of Washington and Alaska, the term Eskimo was used to just be derogatory towards the indigenous people that live
So
there.
why have you said it 8 times in the past 30 seconds,
Um,
Hector?
So,
I don't know the
Okay,
name.
do y'all-
Marvel's no game.
do y'all
Good lesson, good
do y'all think that any of the Marvel movies are gonna make it to the Oscars?
I wanted to talk
No.
about that.
Black
No.
Panther,
No, they
Because
canceled it.
Remember, did they introduce those new rules? They canceled
they
that?
canceled
the
the-
new
Yeah,
category?
fucking good. That's not
Okay,
good.
I wanted to talk
No,
about
but
that.
apparently they're trying
popular
to.
goes
I
They're,
don't
to-
like the most popular.
they're trying to push Black Panther for Best Picture nomination.
No.
Why would they do
no,
that?
No.
Think about it.
Bad
Listen.
movie.
Wow,
Listen,
fuck me.
it
God
it
damn.
is a good movie.
It is a
okay,
good movie.
but it's not that good,
No,
and it's
here's-
not doing
It's an
anything new
important
for
movie
the
and it's a
genre.
good movie.
It's an
but it's not
important
the best
movie in
movie.
cinema,
Yeah.
and so they're trying to get that like influence that it brought to like Saudi Arabia and everything.
Phoenix's mom
Into,
coming in with the
like-
good points.
But look at Captain America.
Read it.
Can we get you on the podcast?
That's fair.
She can take my spot, okay.
But like, going on with Black Panther, like
Oh,
the
I wanna
influence
talk
that
about
it
that in a
made,
second.
not much in like minorities. It made a huge impact in like the African American community, and they were influenced by like other African cultures to make it as accurate as possible. Not to mention like worldwide, like the distribution it made and the impact it made in other countries.
They did a lot.
They're hoping to just use that influence that they made on a cultural value into the Oscars.
I agree with everything you just said, but you do have to look at like
The
who's
terrible
in
CGI.
charge of like Oscars and like in the sense of like nominations, what's like gonna get picked to win. So I feel like in this time with Oscar season, all the movies that are coming out, like Star is Born and everything else that could get nominated, and that's in the running. I feel like Black Panther, while it is a good and important film, I feel like it almost doesn't stand a chance right now.
Here's
just
the
'cause
thing,
of what's
though.
going on.
The same thing kind of happened with Get Out because it was released
That's
like
true.
way before like nominee season, and yet it even won Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
just
don't.
hard to think about with Marvel action films because they kind of tie them in as like, oh, this isn't important. This is just
Yeah.
entertainment.
Is it Daniel Kaluuya or Daniel Kaluuya? Or Kaluuya, okay.
I mean, really, like I feel the like biggest reason why a Marvel movie cannot win is because the genre of the superhero film just hasn't reached the level yet to where it's anywhere near being able to be nominated. Because really, like it is fairly new and it's a very niche thing. And I feel that's really why it won't be able to reach that point is because all of these other movies are taking classic ideas and just recycling them. And I just feel that with our current academy, they would never buy it.
Have you seen Iron Man 3?
Hey Riley, how you doing, buddy? Guys, that's my best friend Riley.
Hey. Yeah, Logan.
We've heard a lot of good things about you, Riley.
Logan
I think
is
there-
my favorite
yeah,
superhero.
There's a
film.
small percentage of the superhero movies that are actually made, and the way I see it, to be like standalone films that operate as a good film. I thought Iron Man is a good example. Before they even had these big dreams of the MCU, that was made. It was kind of like a standalone movie, and if you take it from being outside like a Marvel movie, it is a good film on its
Yeah.
own. Same with Logan. I think the only MCU movie since Iron Man that I see is like
A standalone
quality
thing.
like a standalone thing. I would not say Black Panther.
I think
is
you
that.
can say Logan is like a
Lo-
little bit different.
I
of a
was gonna-
superhero
I was
film,
thinking
though. It's
that.
like a lot more grounded and stuff like that.
That's
And it's
true.
more of like it's
Like
like
you could
almost
say
like a
something about like
character study.
Unbreakable.
Yeah, like it's
You
just.
could.
I think it's just. I think a superhero movie could eventually make it into the Oscars, but it's like.
But not with the format they're going for now.
Yeah, like because
every
they're more
MCU
for like
movies,
spectacle. It's
yeah.
not about like let's tell a
It's
story.
about let's see Wakanda for the first time on screen.
Yeah.
It's about let's see how this ties into the
Let's see
Avengers
Wakanda
Infinity
forever.
War.
And then really, I mean, that's completely fine.
Logan
like I
was
mean,
so different. I feel like it was so different than all the superhero films.
Well,
like,
and
was
it
like,
did get nominated.
It was like
Yeah.
such like a fresh breath instead of just this.
Yes,
Okay.
Reed, go.
I want to talk about like it was wired in the show too, but look at Captain America hooked up with his love interest's granddaughter or whatever. But yeah, but Captain America.
It was actually her great niece.
okay. Either way, Christian.
So that makes it okay.
Whoa! Okay, either way, Christian, no one gives a shit. The point is, his love interest didn't die. So the love interest died
Had kids.
like was able to have kids and live on after Steve Rogers went to the ice. But in Wonder Woman, the homie dies. Like,
Yeah.
So did he have like a family before the war? So I feel like that's like a whole different thing you have to look at.
Yeah. But
If he had a family, he turned his back on them to get with Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I mean,
Wouldn't you?
I
Okay.
actually, yeah, I would too.
Okay, this girl's nice. You know, we got kids. Oh, an Amazonian. A
Gal
goddess.
Gadot.
The Gal Gadot in the wild.
Fuck me.
Literally.
I don't know.
God.
I just I just like really feel that comic book films are too stuck in their own thing to be anywhere close to something that will be remembered beyond like 5 years.
I don't know. I have confidence in Black
Chill
Panther.
out.
Like,
Learn
just
to have an
because
opinion
it's-
without getting
yeah,
mad at shit.
Yeah.
I'm not getting mad. I'm just
No,
getting like
you're-
And
it's
if anything,
no,
I would
okay.
hate for like
Just
a,
based on-
whatever.
like a
It's fine.
pity
'Cause this is
award
my thing.
just because
I understand.
we're expecting
Yeah.
it. Like people want Black Panther
Sort of
to do
video game
good,
movies.
so it's just gonna throw out awards in that case. So I feel like if that would happen, like you can like never tell if that's happening, but it's like I almost don't want that either. So it's like no matter what happens, it's just like is it a win or is it like lose
I
situation?
think
It's a
just
dub.
gonna get-
Is it a
I
dub,
think
I
it's just
guess?
gonna get a few nominations and they're gonna call it a day. It's
Yeah.
not gonna win anything.
Fair
but-
enough.
Alright, yeah.
Well, also like the point is, should it win anything?
We have to see what it's up against.
Maybe best supporting actor. Maybe.
Wait, for
With
which
Killmonger.
one?
With Killmonger.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Honestly, he did a good job.
Really
He did
good.
a job.
Yeah.
Good- He's a
I
good
think so.
villain.
I wouldn't. That's not an Oscar-nominated performance. I
Yeah.
would say.
Oh yeah.
Like I just think he's like a well-written character, but like in terms of like the performance, like it's kind of he's functional.
Hey on
He was just playing. He was just playing evil Michael B. Jordan.
yeah.
Did Jeff Bridges?
Nah.
from the darker side of my.
Did Jeff Bridges? Hey, did Jeff Bridges win anything in the first Iron Man?
No.
No.
Oh,
Well,
not
because he wasn't.
Tony.
He wasn't the best character. I mean, he was good, and I love Jeff.
I
Bridges'
like
dad.
to suck Jeff Bridges' dick all the time about shit. Tron, you know that's a big thing.
Oh, so good.
True,
Yo, I'm gonna
True
go see
Grit. I like
First
True Grit.
Man this week.
First Man?
Yeah. By our
Nice.
Lord and
Big
Savior,
Lebowski,
Damien
of course.
Chazelle. Man.
Yeah, Reed sucks Jeff Bridges' dick, but
Gawk,
Hector
gawk,
sucks
gawk,
Damien
gawk.
Chazelle's dick.
That's true.
Yeah. In this house.
Careful,
we-
careful. You might get some whiplash, Hector.
I might get some whiplash.
Ah,
Yeah, I feel like Damien Chazelle really got robbed of his Oscar in 2015 with Whiplash.
fuck off,
Um,
Hector.
Yeah, we're not going to discuss that.
We're not getting into this for the
In
100th
the
time.
podcast, cut the feed.
Cut the feed.
I think Whiplash deserves Best Picture over Birdman. I think Birdman's just too much of a pretentious film.
Okay,
and
say something
Why do
different
you think
between
that, though?
because that's
Yeah.
that's
What-
your argument
oh.
every
I
single
mean, I guess
time.
it adds
It's just
time. Let's go
pretentious.
for it.
It really is.
Say
so,
more.
Okay,
Say more.
so I will say more. Chill the fuck out, first of all.
Hey, Marlene.
Hey, we've been doing this.
You
Our
just
mentor-
diffused all the tension in this room.
Yeah.
Our mentor Marlena has just walked in. I just said that,
Do
Phoenix.
you want to grab a mic? You want to talk a little?
Yeah.
Okay, Hector, give your
A
argument.
12-year-old has entered the room.
Okay,
Everyone
I
get
want you- I
down.
want you to convince me. I do like the movie Whiplash quite a lot, actually.
Yeah.
But I think Birdman is better.
I very much disagree.
Change
Can
your
Right.
you
mind.
say more about it?
So the way that Birdman was narrated, I felt like it relied heavily much on the cinematography, which
Oh,
Yeah, 'cause,
no.
There's a giant dick on the
Oh,
board.
Yeah.
We are gonna stop this in
Let's
30
watch
minutes.
Eraserhead.
Marlene, I'm
Let's
sorry
watch
about
Eraserhead.
that.
We'll be done by
I was just doing some measurements.
6:30.
So, do y'all hear
I think so. I don't know.
So can we let
the
Hector give his argument?
Superman? Y'all know how
legitimately
there's
wanna
like
hear it.
the new Superman, and there's rumors that Michael B. Jordan was gonna be playing
Yeah.
If you give
Superman.
Black Hollywood an inch and they take a mile.
Pretty
okay?
much.
Sometimes
Essentially.
black
Okay, but
representation is good, but is it always good?
Sometimes it's just not needed
Is
because
it needed?
because bottom line, Michael B. Jordan could not play that role.
Okay.
He just
With
doesn't have the
Michael B.
chops right
Jordan
now.
rumors, it was just Warner Brothers had a short list of actors they want to play, but short lists actually are not short. It's just some big name actors that they would like would generate buzz to be in that role.
Of
I don't
course.
think Michael B. Jordan would ever like go into talks. I don't think they would approach him about. being
Also,
Superman.
I don't even feel he would take that role because
Yeah, I don't think so either.
because in the current continuity of the DC films, Superman's just like bad. He's written very poorly.
Well, I mean,
honestly.
I think unless they try to bring in like Superboy or something like that, because he's like a
Superboy would
little
be
bit more
nice.
like complicated of like a character, and I feel like he could go that route.
that would be a
I
great
feel like they
route.
should just give up at this point. It's too much of a shit show.
start over.
Well, I think they're already the direction they were taking with trying to make movies that aren't within their mainline continuity, like with the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie. I like that. It feels more like the comics, where not everything has to tie into one grand big story, and I think that was a step in the right direction that differentiates them from Marvel. So if they just keep going that direction, not having every movie build up to the next one like Marvel does, I think that would be a fine choice. So I wouldn't mind seeing another Superman movie that's not in line with the DCU that we've been getting. Just restart it, and then honestly, not everything has to be a reboot. If you do this, do a Superman movie, yes, you can make another one after that with a different actor. It's not a reboot; it's just another Superman movie.
then
telling
like
a
just
different
throw
story.
a Gotham by Gaslight in there somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
exactly. I would love
rad.
to see that. Doesn't have to be Ben Affleck. It can be a totally different person. But getting back, because I know I will definitely talk about this for way too long. I legitimately want to hear Hector's argument about why Whiplash is better.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Talking
So, into the topic over my preference over Whiplash and Birdman. So first of all, let's talk about the main message involved in both films. I like Birdman. I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, fuck Birdman. No, I enjoyed the movie.
Hey, fuck Birdman. Don't put respect on the name.
Like I respect Birdman. I respect the cinematography. Oh, dude, imagine a Court of Owls
That would be
movie.
fantastic.
Oh my god.
We've talked about writing this movie, Court of Owls, before. Like, we just like would walk around Barnes and Nobles and we'd see a Court of Owls comic and we'd be like, that'd be a cool movie.
Except you like just read it for the first time like a month ago.
Yeah.
Who?
But I know the story of it,
I'll
so
stop
it's
saying
like
that.
I just know it translate well.
So yeah,
Who?
going back
Who?
to the Whiplash
Whom?
argument. So again, going back to the main topic, I'm gonna go, detail by detail.
Yeah, go ahead.
So going to the main topic of Whiplash and Birdman, I feel like the main Christian, would you mind stepping in and saying something since you're obviously too busy to hear my argument?
Ooh.
Exactly.
Okay, hold on. You allowed him to just like you called him out for that little thing, but you allowed this to derail for like 5 solid minutes,
I
and
really
I had to
did.
bring it back for you.
I like that one.
I really did,
There you go.
and I want to thank you for bringing it back for me, even though I'm being a hypocrite
Bring
right
it, bring
now.
it back. Bring it back.
Would you want to say that louder, Braden, for the rest of the audience?
Asshole.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I
we all
do.
We all have
and
assholes,
I use it
Mike.
every day.
Hopefully we do.
every day. How? What?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Opinions
Yes,
are like
I have to
assholes.
poop.
We all have
I don't
them.
think we're
Every
meant
day
to
is
talk
that
about
day.
Whiplash and
You're
Birdman.
It
I
is
poop-
healthy.
I poop every day.
I poop like once every 3 days.
Going
too
back
much,
into
Oh
too
my
much.
God.
Let's talk about Whiplash.
going back
What do
into
you
poop
eat?
though, yeah, I think A Wrinkle in Time was a massive piece of garbage
Got
compared to poop.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
pretty bad.
So yeah, again, so looking at the main theme going on in Birdman, it's essentially a washed-up actor trying to go back into relevance. So it goes into relevancy as well as addiction, looking at Emma Stone's character. But you have like these other side quests going on. With Whiplash, it's very linear. It's about this kid trying to get into success, trying to get into the reality that you have to sacrifice a lot to
Yeah.
succeed in life.
what it sounds like you're talking about is the the literal plot structure of where the
And
characters
Birdman
Yeah.
just shoots off his fucking nose for a performance.
Yeah, it's pretty
I mean,
rad.
I shot off the bottom of my lip on Thursday for my performance. Well, not shot with a gun, but with a broom.
He did do that.
I did do that.
You shot a
You're-
broom?
you're- I shot a broom into my lip.
No,
You
like,
could say I'm Birdman.
yeah, you could say I'm Michael
Speaking of
Keaton
weird
now.
guns, and back to Assassin's Creed,
Oh,
especially
my
Assassin's Creed
God.
Unity, the fucking guillotine
gun?
gun. The
Oh,
guillotine
yeah.
gun. That shit's
Gun.
tight as fuck. It is like a big what is that like rifle?
This
I
is the
guess?
most unorganized.
I don't care.
yeah,
It's
we're gonna
bullshit.
have to.
We did
We're,
jump
we're
It's,
like
it's a
gonna
rifle.
talk
It's a
about all
rifle
this
with an
later.
axe on it.
Guillotine gun.
Whiplash.
Whiplash, guillotine guns.
Black Panther.
It goes. Guillotine.
Okay, but the literal plot structure and the direction of the characters between Birdman and Whiplash are different. It's hard to compare them, and the way you're comparing them makes it sound like you're
Good or
you're kind
bad?
of forcing a comparison just on the sense
or
of like they both have the same structure. They do not.
Oh,
They,
really?
they do not.
Birdman
and I
is more-
understand
Death Grips
that.
is good.
Part of the with the
Riley,
stylistic
type something about
making it
Death
all
Grips.
look
Type
like
something about
it's
Death
watching
Grips,
Birdman is to make it seem
A
more
reference, if you
natural.
would.
It is kind of true to
Or
life
anything.
with these characters experiencing something like that. That's why there are each person has their own kind of thing because that's how real life is. Versus Whiplash, it is more of a typical narrative structure when you do center around the main character and his struggles. So Birdman takes more liberties with a plot structure, and so it's harder to compare the two like you are.
Yeah, and I understand. Like again, to each film itself, and
I
that's
like
the
that
beauty.
we're finally having this out.
Yeah.
We've talked about this for a while, but never gotten into detail. It's
And-
just been us
and-
saying this one's better. No, this one's
Yeah.
better.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people are just observing.
But here's a beauty about filmmaking. Film is subjective. So my opinion over the film is obviously different from yours.
That's true.
And your argument, it's obviously. All right. It's obviously different because of that aspect, but I feel like the plot structure going on in Whiplash is more easier to follow, and so you can.
I agree.
invest-
It is easier to follow,
you
but that doesn't mean it's a better
hold
film.
Hold on. You can invest more time and emotion into this over like Birdman, where like you have to divide your time into the other characters and then try to sympathize with them. But by the time
But that's how normal
over-
life is.
That is how normal life is. But trying to fit that in within a film, it could be overwhelming at some point. And so it's hard to like sympathize with someone and then go to a different story and then the different story.
So
and
are you
try to
are you
wrap this
saying
up
you're
in, like-
incapable of sympathizing with multiple people at once, Hector?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying
That's what
is
it sounds
that-
like.
What I'm saying is that it's complicated to try to pull that off within like a 2-hour film.
But it pulled it off pretty effectively.
With certain characters, you also like with Michael Keaton, you could resonate with him, but that's also because he's the main protagonist. In fact, you could also resonate with like Emma Stone's character, but then with the other supporting characters, you kind of just go off and you're like, okay, yeah, they're like I understand where they're coming from, but you kind of forget about them like 2 days later.
Do you sympathize with every character in Whiplash?
Essentially,
Do you sympathize with specific scene when they're doing like the tryouts and there's like the 2 other drummers and then Miles Teller and they're all competing? Do you sympathize with them?
I sympathize with them as a performer because you're having to go against them. They might be really great people, but at the end of the day, you want that role for yourself.
Okay, well, what about they've got smaller roles in that movie than Emma Stone does in Birdman. Can you sympathize with her as a daughter of a parent who is kind of detached and she feels like she's trying to be out on her own, but she can't get out from.
Well, if you paid attention to my earlier argument, I did say that I did sympathize with Emma Stone's character very much because of
Okay, and well then I'll keep mentioning characters from Birdman that had larger roles than the 2 drummers that you sympathized with. What about Edward Norton?
Edward Norton, his performance was going into that pretentious kind of actor scene, and so you resonate with him, but you kind of hate him as well. It's not that like I don't empathize with every character in Birdman. It's that it's not as solid as Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons. They have more time to themselves in that film, more time for like the viewer to understand.
So you like that it's a more focused story on those 2 characters more than Birdman, which kind of okay.
Yeah, more than it kind of derails on like other character arcs and everything.
And that in your mind makes it better?
Yeah. Essentially better in the sense of like you could sympathize more, empathize more. You get to know them pretty well. By the end of the movie,
So you like movies with a more focused cast more than like a bigger ensemble cast?
Yeah, that's just my personal preference. Again, you're gonna have a different preference than mine.
I mean, I just like good movies. I like good movies with focused casts or big ensemble casts.
I'm not much of a fan of like major ensemble cast, but again, personal preference of mine.
I'm glad you guys had this conversation.
Yeah, I am too.
We're having
See,
this.
I'm glad you explained your personal preferences a little bit better than just saying, "Oh, Whiplash is better."
Yeah, but you know.
Because I understand, that's your preference that
Yeah.
Whiplash is better, but like
And
with subjectivity of film, there's also the subjectivity of the audience, and what
the
they like
audience's
and what they don't
preference.
like.
Also, just like the hidden themes that you see in Whiplash, and like the other questions that it raises.
The hidden theme of double time swing is fucking impossible.
But you know, like there's subtle symbolism that spans through the film, specifically with
Symbolism.
Yeah. But you know, looking at Miles Teller at the very beginning of the film, he's practicing with a white shirt on. You see J.K. Simmons come in with like his black shirt, and that symbolizes just like the corruption that Simmons holds within him, and just like how harsh he is, and just how harsh the reality of being a performer is. And Miles Teller is wearing a white shirt to kind of show like the innocence that he still has, and how unknown he is to the fact that entertainment can destroy a human being.
Can I say something?
A little bit towards you.
I think you're reading too much into shirts.
No, wait.
Has like Damien Chazelle said that?
It's more of like you have to analyze what Chazelle was trying to say, and you know.
Okay, but again.
Hold on,
you can
let me finish my
overanalyze.
argument though. You get to the end of the film though, and you see Miles Teller obviously stressing out more. And he already quit though; he dropped out, but he's still stressing over like the show. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you.
Matthew
Wait, am
Thomas,
I
calm
Christopher
down,
Nolan?
Christopher
Am I
Nolan.
me? Braden. Braden is Christopher
Well,
Nolan
the
or
guy
is
talking
Hector?
Right now, calm down, Christopher Nolan.
I don't know that.
Hector.
I don't know who he's
I
comparing.
don't know
to.
who
I'm
Christopher
sure he's
Nolan.
talking about.
Do you not know who Christopher Nolan is?
I know who Christopher Nolan is.
Thank you, Matthew Thomas.
But by the end of the film, both of them are wearing black shirts to symbolize.
Oh, Hector is fucking annoying.
Oh my
Yes.
Well, fuck you too then.
Keep going. It's okay.
Okay, Matthew
Fuck
Thomas.
you too, Matthew.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, looking at the end of the film, like Miles Teller is wearing.
I
a black
called
shirt
Chief,
to also
and he said
symbolize,
Matthew
like,
Thomas is
It's
a
also
straight savage
professional
son.
attire, wearing a black shirt to a concert.
It depends actually on the ensemble that you're performing with, because sometimes they might require you to wear like
Yeah,
a
what if he was
white
required
dress
to wear a
shirt.
white shirt?
Well, everyone else wore a white shirt,
I mean, like,
but it was implemented by Chazelle for that sake of symbolism. You have to understand that aspect. Airtime.
Hey, why y'all get quiet?
I'm
But
still trying
yeah.
to process the fact that he's using shirts as an argument.
Well, again,
I agree with the shirts thing. Like that's the thing that he specifically.
Okay,
put
so
in.
Damien
Yeah.
Chazelle said it. Okay,
Yeah.
well, then that's understandable. But
Are
I
you
just
sure
pulling
about
this out
that?
of your ass about shirts. and I
No,
was like,
I'm not
it's
gonna-
like if you're reading a novel and it says the curtains are blue, you can read into that like, oh, it's
Well,
it's reflecting. The
I
mental
think an
state of the main
important thing to
character, or
look
the curtains
about
could just be fucking blue.
in film is like when you actually like use color association. Like Damien Chazelle's very well known for that. Like La La Land, especially like with how they use like the color blue to kind of like symbolize like
See,
their
I know, like, I know
relationship or whatever.
They use color in that.
So
but I
it's
didn't-
not
with-
something
with
that-
the T-shirts. I didn't know that.
But if you're looking at like a director's style, you need to like look at like what they've used in the past and stuff like that because it just helps you understand their films more. So like I wouldn't just like knock off the shirts thing because it's like the movie's like fairly simplistic in its production design. So when things do pop out, like that's like you're meant to catch that and associate things with it, you know?
Yeah, and again, I'm not trying to hate on Birdman. Like Iñárritu is actually one of the directors that like inspired the way that like.
Shout out to you for actually pronouncing that name. I cannot.
But yeah, Iñárritu is one of those directors who really influenced the way I write and direct. Not necessarily with Birdman, but with like Amores Perros, which is actually like one of my bigger influences in filmmaking.
Thank you, Phoenix's mom.
Like I love Iñárritu. Well, Iñárritu, if I'm being more to my culture.
Yeah,
you know?
but
Sorry.
Um,
I'll never do that again,
so
I promise.
I just don't think Birdman was his strongest film.
I never said it was the strongest.
Well, I mean, it wasn't his strongest film, and I don't think it deserved Best Picture. And granted, that year there weren't that many strong films to compete against them. Like, it was a year that like The Imitation Game and like The Theory of Everything ran, which were like just Oscar bait movies. But you had like I feel like the only good 3 movies that were nominated that year were Birdman, Whiplash, and Boyhood. And even then, Boyhood's not even linear. It's just a film that spans 12 years that narrates just life.
Yeah, so I'm starting to just, as you're talking more, I'm just understanding that this is more about your personal preference in movies that makes you think Whiplash is better.
Isn't that like
not like from a
every film critic's like?
Exactly. That's
No,
every
that's-
film critic.
okay. Yes, but also no, because you can look from an objective standpoint on how like things are done technically, but when you get into like, oh, I personally like smaller focus cast over an ensemble cast, then you're not seeing it from that. Well, this ensemble cast is still fantastic.
Here's the thing, though: the Academy is all objective. They're gonna pick their own preferences for their
Do you mean subjective? You just said
Okay.
subjective. Sorry.
'Cause I wanted to
They're
period.
gonna pick their preferred film for Best Picture. They're gonna raise their argument. They might make the same. Maybe someone in the Academy is made that same argument that I'm making right now for Whiplash.
But they got overpowered by the people who realized that.
No, they got overpowered by the preferences of the other members of the Academy. That's essentially how it works out. It's not that they were like, oh yeah, fuck Whiplash. It's like, okay, most of us disagree with you. Most of us are siding with Birdman. So we're going to call it a day and give Birdman the show, like the Oscar, and get Iñárritu some clout.
Give him some clout. What are you gonna say? Something, Phoenix?
Oh, I was gonna try to wrap this up, but if you guys just got more than this.
My friend Riley has been watching this, and he says Whiplash is a glorified tech demo that's saved by 2 good actors, and Birdman is pretentious as shit. But even though Birdman won Best Picture, I'd say more people are still talking about Whiplash, possibly because of the fame of Damien Chazelle.
Yeah.
I agree. I think
Very fair
people are
opinion.
talking about it longer because Damien Chazelle is still made La La Land after he's now making First Man, so he is more prevalent in the media
Amanda
cycle.
flushed away was
Matthew
cinematic
Thomas,
masterpiece.
you. No one
Amanda.
cares about your opinion.
Amanda, fucking leave, please.
Flushed away was a cinematic masterpiece.
It was pretty good. Those fucking slugs pissed me off. God
Hugh
damn
Jackman's
annoying.
best role by far.
What?
Hugh Jackman's the main character of Flushed
Oh
Away.
my god! Why?
Because they said, "Hey, Wolverine, what you doing?"
Have you seen his?
Like the rat looks like David Tennant.
Do you know his taller cousin? Hugh Jackman. Sorry,
Why is the cousin's last name different?
it's a cousin.
I have cousins with the same last name.
I don't.
That's not how it works.
That's definitely how it works. Do you not know how cousins work?
A cousin can have a last name.
I got a
by
couple
marriage.
cousins.
Yeah.
No one will.
There was implied. Yeah, you got that.
Oh, Matthew. I don't.
Well,
I don't know who
guess
Matthew
what?
is.
I watch movies too. Oh wait,
He
you're
was
quoting
quoting
me.
you,
Oh
dumbass.
my God, Hector.
You're dumb. God damn it,
Wait,
Hector.
so
You're
where
proving
are
him
we?
right.
Where are
Matthew,
we in
stop
this
winning.
conversation?
Right now, Hector was explaining
I think we've kind of wrapped up the Whiplash Birdman conversation.
we should wrap up
Honestly,
now,
at the end of the day, they're two movies. I don't know why we're talking about 2015.
Yeah, stop living in the past, Hector.
You know what? First Man's probably gonna get nominated for Best Picture.
Thank you guys for having
If we're
me.
being more modern here.
You say that, but you still have not
Well,
seen it,
Please
right?
leave. We're in the middle of a
Watch it
podcast.
next week.
You're going to watch
I'm
it, but
gonna
you have
watch
not
it.
yet.
Well,
Thank
guys,
you, Brayden
That's
and
already-
Hector.
thank
We're gonna wrap
thank
up.
Thank you, Brayden
everyone
and
for
Hector.
being here.
And thank you, Matthew Thomas.
Thank
to
you.
our
Okay,
viewers, guys,
I'm
who
taking the mic away from
commented.
Brayden and Hector.
Thank you
We're
for
really
everyone
gonna
who
wrap it up.
decided to tune in and listen to us talk
We
about
did
movies.
2 hours
Alright.
and 30 minutes.
We did pretty good.
Please come back November 15th as we do 55 hours nonstop.
It's gonna be wild.
You've been listening to 85.7 The Beach with Reed Erickson. Thank you.
Thank you, Reed, for that.
Hola y bienvenidos a 4.1.
Well, guess what, Matthew? I didn't ask for your opinion.
Hey, Matthew.
Matthew, shut the fuck up.
Matthew,
You're
put
kind
your
of a-
put
you're kind
your
of a pussy bitch,
put your
honestly.
phone number in the comments. Let's organize a meeting. I want you here to meet everyone.
Pull up to RTVF if you're real enough, but you're probably not because you're not real enough.
Can we cut the stream now?
Alright, bye.
All right, thank you so much for being with us.
What you gotta do,
Can we
baby?
like insert laugh tracks in the
Good morning to everyone but Matthew Thomas. It's one of those tweets.